So in baseball and in all sports, we need to be able to control our emotions and control what we're thinking, how, at least best we can,
Right.
out there on the field and control these. So what's the best way to do that?
Well, like we said, if you break things down and keep it simple, it's one thing at a time. And like we said, I'm in control of myself, I have a plan, I trust what I got. Okay, self-control, big part of it. When we look at being in control of ourselves, what a lot of it involves is awareness, recognition. I see athletic performance like driving a car. You come to an intersection, there's a light. If the light's green, you go.
Sure.
If the light's yellow, better attend to the intersection, check the rearview mirror for a police officer, and make your decision what you're going to do. If the light's red, you got to stop.
Right.
As an athlete, you need to know what happens to me when I start moving from green lights to yellow lights to red lights, or what we used to talk about when you start spinning.
Sure.
And if you don't catch it early, you spin out of control.
Absolutely.
And then you start giving at bats away, give games away, and you beat yourself. But the key is if I can recognize it. Now, under the recognition, I've got to recognize these things in myself. What happens to me? What happens in my body? What happens to my thinking? What happens to my behavior? Do I quiet down with my behavior? Do I get internal? What happens with my thinking? Do I get critical, judgmental? Do I get angry? What happens in my body? Does my heart rate increase? Muscle tension increase? Hands feel weird? All of these things, factors play in. We need some of that arousal, but we don't need too much.
Right.
We're not talking about being relaxed and mellow here because you're competing. We're talking about controlled intensity. Controlled intensity, and everyone's going to be a little different where they need to be.
Sure.
Okay? The other thing, Chad, that comes into it is once I recognize it, then I've got to release it. I've got to have some way to let it go. Okay? It may be stepping out of the batter's box, undoing the batting grips, let it go, strap them back on. It may be hitting the chute. It may be just the distance you move away from home plate.
Sure.
Whatever the thing is for you to recognize, I'm not where I need to be right now, I'm letting this go, and then I'm regrouping.
Perfect.
I'm getting myself back together. Remember we said earlier, you got to be in control of yourself before you control your performance. Your body language is huge, how you carry yourself. It's the classic case of the kid that's in there and he swings at his pitch and he misses and he bangs the bat and then he strikes out on the changeup. Versus the kid, he's in there, swings at his pitch, misses it, bangs the bat, comes back, timeout. Who are you going to bet on?
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
For the parents, how your child works the process. Did they recognize? Now, just because they take that breath, it doesn't mean they're going to get a hit, drive in two, and be a hero. This isn't Disneyland. This is the real world. Okay? But as a parent, you can validate your son or your daughter for the way they went about it and gave themselves the best opportunity for success. That's the type of thing that parents need to be attending to, not the damn results. The results are going to take care of themselves.
Yes.
Okay? But if I can recognize where I'm at, I can release what I need to release, and I can regroup to get to that next pitch.
Right.
That's huge because now I can think clearly. Okay? Now, for a pitcher, the clearly is easier because for a pitcher, pitch selection, pitch location, pitch execution. Right. For a hitter, it's going to be, what am I trying to do with this pitch? What pitch am I looking for? I want to square this up.
Right.
Okay, so at different levels, we know it gets more complex. But basically, you're going in there with a plan.
Right.
Okay? And when I have a plan, that I'm clear what I'm trying to do, and then I just trust myself, and I trust my ability, and I trust my work. Because the trust gets down to when you get to the game, do what you do in your practice, in your training. You do not need to bring it up a level.
That's the key.
That's a big key, okay? Do what you do. If you can't do it in practice, well then guess what? You gotta go get some blisters on your hand, and you may find out you're not good enough.
Right.
But let's get so you can do it in practice, and then bring that to the game. And you're gonna do that pitch by pitch. And some of them it's gonna go good, and some of them it isn't gonna go well. But your job is to take what you got, if it's 60%, use 100% of that 60, and battle with that on the next pitch. And that's where we're really talking life skills, Chad.
Absolutely. And taking it out there every time.